Many of the deepest lessons I learned came from the civil rights movement, which I joined when I was a young teenager around 1960 in support of the sit-ins at Woolworth's. And the big lesson I learned is that if we organize, we can change this world. Within a year, we won a Voting Rights Act. A reason that I founded Midwest Academy was a way to combine the lessons of the civil rights movement with community organizing, and then understanding that these are ways to help people become actors in our own lives.
The beauty of organizing is that it creates a possibility for somebody to be able to do something that they do not think is possible within themselves.
You can organize from your laptop, you can organize from your library, from your school, from the buses, and that I think is a good thing. You know, like it shows that organizing is something that should and can be held by anybody.
Learning that if you organize people around you, if you demand a specific issue, if you target the right person, you can actually win sustainable change was a huge moment for me.
What Midwest has begun to do is put together a really strong training at a time where more and more people, especially people who don't have a lot of experience organizing, are committed to actually having a more overt ideology.
There are three principles of the Academy. The first is that we actually want to win for people, win victories that improve our lives. The second is that we give people a sense of their own power. And the third is that we try and change the relations of power. You can be in a fight. You can say, let's go out, let's march, let's go to City Hall, let's do a Twitter storm, let's do any one particular tactic. But what is the strategy that moves us from where we are to where we want to be?
Tools change. The advent of the internet, the use of cell phones, were all things that good organizers have to adjust to, they have to learn, and they have to make sure that they keep their skills up. And the Midwest Academy is particularly good because over the course of its history, it has adjusted to the circumstances that have presented itself in this country, to training organizers, generations after generations of organizers, and being a beacon of organizers and organizing training over that time period.
I started training and going to trainings with Midwest Academy in college, and it was the one place where everything literally could be an asset. Your personal stories, the relationships you had, how much you cared about people were things that were on the table that we could use as a part of our strategy development. I think it is both an art and a science.
And like the attention to detail, really the nuts and bolts of what words you want to use, like how are you giving clearer directives, giving you intentional questions of things to think about. Midwest does that really well.
You wouldn't think that seasoned organizers who are leading campaigns and leading organizations would need more training, but the more I'm in this work, the more it is very clear that we always need refreshers. We need a better understanding of the history of social justice, better frameworks for our campaigns. We need better methodology. We need case studies and all of these things that Midwest provides.
Wherever you are, whoever you are, not only do we take you for where you are, we value you, we see you as an asset, and we're gonna give you and invest in you and pour into you and also resource you to be able to build whatever it is you think makes sense.
We want to see this become a better world. It's not up to others, it's up to each of us. We need to organize with love at the center, and we can provide you support to learn how to do it and then to teach others how we build a society with freedom, justice, democracy for all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, boys and girls, family, we are here for our annual Midwest Academy Awards. To all you organizers and freedom fighters, to all you people who speak power to power, tonight is the night that we celebrate you. Tonight is a night that we actually lift up those that have been fighting on the front lines, whatever way they've been doing it, whether it's labor organizing, community-based organizing, organizing around political power, organizing in philanthropy to make sure that the right people get the money. We are here to celebrate that tonight. My name is G2 Brown. I am your organizer / MC. I'm your master of ceremonies. I am the driver of the bus that will get us to the destination of a successful program. I am a proud board member of the Midwest Academy and also I serve the Journey for Justice Alliance as its national director. Journey for Justice Alliance, or J4J, is a national alliance of grassroots community-based organizations in about 36 cities around the country that use community organizing to win equity in public education. And again, I am honored to be a member of the board of directors of the mighty, mighty Midwest Academy. Midwest Academy is essential because for those of you that organize, I remember a lovely young lady called me one day talking about how isolated she felt. And she's actually one of our award nominees tonight. She's one of our award recipients tonight. And the sister called me and talked about the fact that as a parent, she was being made to feel like she was wrong for standing up for her children. And often when we are dealing with oppressors, that is what we're dealing. We're dealing with organized money that controls everything from the messaging to how the resources get to our communities. So when we build the type of unity where we can actually have an organization that trains change makers, it has to be celebrated. So the Midwest Academy, to me, is essential to the infrastructure of building a better world, right? Because this is not activism that we do. We speak power to power, right? People power against corporate/money power. So today, I want you to hang on. I want you to please give some love to the people as we recognize them. As we say, give our people their flowers today. And I want you to hold on, man. Loosen up a little bit. Loosen up a little bit because we got some music from young brother / freedom fighter / creative artist, brother Ric Wilson. And I'll be back to see you after that. All right.
Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Ric Wilson. We're here with Midwest Academy. If you don't know what Midwest Academy is a nonprofit that trains community organizers to be community organizers. You know what I mean? So I don't know how much more important it gets than that. If you don't know who I am, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I'm an activist, abolitionist, and artist. And I used to be an organizer with We Trust Genocide, Chicago Freedom School, BYP 100. And just kind of anything that I can kind of just get my hands into helping or whatnot, friend of the community, I'm just a mouthpiece of the movement, or try my best to be. So we're gonna get into a couple of songs of mine, and yeah, we're gonna rock out. So shout out to you guys for being here. Hopefully you have fun and give some money, some dollars to these beautiful folks, and let's get it in. This song's called Fight Like Ida and Marsha P. Yup. Alright, let me see a little two-step. Let me see that. Ah, little two-step. Little two-step. Little two-step. Little two-step. They ain't never show no love like the world against us. Being born with no luck and mourning and stuck. Fight the power like Chuck. Rage against the machines and not giving. Paint us all with one slug. We know war on the drugs and war on black thugs. Politicians just shrug. Ain't no help from above. They don't wanna see us up. Let me get my scrub up. Everybody fists up. Everybody going up. We going up, we going up, going up. They don't wanna see us. Come on. Woo! Yeah. One day you'll be nothing but the rich. All right.
Man, that young brother was getting it in, man. He said, fight the power like Chuck. That woke me up as an old school cat. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So, hey, much love to that young brother for that music. You got to look him up, Ric Wilson. I know he's on, you know, iTunes or one of those platforms. Music definitely worth supporting. So please, let's give that brother a fist and an applause so we can support music that's speaking to our people instead of degrading our folks, right? So my job is to set it up for our first award recipient for the Movement Builders Award. You know, one of the things that we experience as whether you're doing political organizing is that the interests that don't want us in American cities, the interest that tries to gentrify, that's a nice word. I use the word purge. The interest that tries to purge us from American cities is often very well funded. And often they buy political support, they buy all types of support. And so sometimes you feel like you're throwing rocks at tanks. So to have an organization committed to building a political movement in this country, the Working People's Party began to say that we want elected officials that actually come from our community, that represent the interests of our community, who are accountable to our community, that move an agenda that talks about building a better world for everybody, not a better world for the rich. That's important. It's critical. So we want to recognize tonight the very important work of the Working People's Party and their executive director, the recipient of the Movement Builders Award, our brother, Maurice Mitchell. I'll see you soon.
I met Maurice when he was a young organizer, building the power of Black and Brown communities in the suburbs of Long Island. From organizing Black parents to take over the school board, to mobilizing Black and Brown voters to kick out the right-wing senator, and then to hold the new guy accountable when he didn't deliver, Maurice was challenging the suburban power structure. And then as organizing director for Citizen Action of New York, Maurice taught us all that organizing without vision might win some stuff, but it leaves us running around in circles, while vision without organizing feels good, but doesn't bring real change. Maurice combines the two more effectively than anyone else I know. Some of you saw that in Ferguson. When Michael Brown was murdered, Mo went down to help for a few weeks. And then a few weeks became a few months when local leaders wouldn't let him go home. As one of them told me at the time, they needed Maurice because he had that rare combination of being able to connect deeply with the young people who were out on the streets, while also knowing how to think strategically and create the structures that could elevate the voices in the street and help the movement grow and win. Maurice, congratulations.
The great Karen Scharf called me one day and said, "We got to get Maurice Mitchell to apply for your job." Ever on top of things, I said, "Maurice, really?" But before long, I knew she was right. Like the truly great organizers, Maurice listens deeply. He is patient and he is profoundly empathetic. All in all, not half bad. Seriously, the entire WFP board, Karen, Heather McGee, and Bob Master, and Anna Maria Archilla, and George Gale, and others were united that this man could take the party to the next level, and he has not disappointed. Every year on Sports Talk Radio, there is a debate during the pro football draft about the tension between drafting the best available athlete versus drafting for a specific position. The hosts drone on this scintillating topic for hours, but they're not wrong. It's rare that one person satisfies both criteria. Maurice did and does. I'm pleased to be part of honoring him tonight, as well as demonstrating yet again that men really cannot communicate without sports metaphors. Thanks and congratulations, Brother Mitchell.
I'm so honored to have the chance to say a few words to honor my brother, Maurice Mo Mitchell, on his being awarded the Midwest Academy's Movement Builder Award. Mo, you are an inspiration to me. I have watched you for many, many years in this movement. From the early days of the movement for Black Lives, I saw you. I saw that invisible organizing work you were doing, and I hope other people now see it too. And then, of course, in 2018, taking over the Working Families Party, you have just created an incredibly powerful juggernaut of electoral power for the progressive movement. And I am so thankful for your leadership, the team that you have built, for all that you are doing. And let me just say this, as we move forward in this perilous moment for our democracy, Maurice, you are one of the guiding lights of our movement. And please, please, please make sure that you understand that we all love you, that we stand with you, that all hands are on deck in this critical moment for our democracy. I am so proud of you, brother. And for those that don't know, not only is Mo a rock star in our movement, he's actually a rock star. So congratulations, brother, on your fantastic award this year. I'm so very proud of you.
Hi, I'm Maurice Mitchell, National Director of the Working Families Party, and it's a pleasure to be in community with you all today. I look forward to a time when we all could do these things in person. Now, before I begin, I want to say thank you to Jay, Eric, and the rest of the staff for finding my work and the contributions that I've provided to the cause, deserving of this year's Movement Builder Award. And in many ways, this is a full circle moment for me. I'm a proud alum of the Midwest Academy. The lessons I learned here at the Midwest Academy are still being applied today in my daily work leading the Working Families Party. As many of you know, organizing is truly a labor of love, as well as a labor of belief. Love for the people we serve and a belief that our sacrifices will lead to freedom and liberation of the people. And I know about the late nights, the early mornings, and the community meetings with few people in attendance. But as we're seeing today, if we keep pushing, if we continue to fight, if we keep agitating, if we keep our eyes trained to the North Star, we can win. The Midwest Academy's focus on social, economic, and racial justice is the way we get free. It's not social justice or economic justice or racial justice. It's all of these things, because the organizer knows that unless all of us are free, none of us are free. We don't have to look any further than the last year and a half to see what it looks like in action. In 2020, organizations and activists and organizers came together to ensure the last president was the first one-time president in nearly 3 decades, right? But that wasn't enough. See, rebuilding after this pandemic required organizers to put forth a positive vision of what this country could be, not simply what we don't want to be, and a country that actually invested in its people. So let's look at the American Rescue Plan, for example. It's a first step. And organizers from labor and racial justice and climate justice and women's rights and everything in between came together in order to ensure that our government invested trillions of dollars into us. And we're currently trying to figure out how to ensure that infrastructure isn't just roads and bridges, but it's our people, right? And if we do that well and we ensure that those investments actually hit the ground and are organizing, and I have to say this, organizing is more important than ever. The real organizing, the fundamentals of organizing, what I learned over decades, what Midwest Academy continues to train people on and to reinforce, that organizing can ensure that those resources actually get to the people and empower our people. This is the power of movement building. Those are the skills learned here at Midwest Academy. And that's how we get free in our communities, cities, states, and in the country. Thank you again for honoring me with this year's Movement Builder Award.
Hi, I'm Esteban with Poder Latinx, and I wanted to share with you all our experience with the Midwest Academy. We just came off of a training maybe 3 weeks ago or so, and it was with Eric and Emejosian, 2 experts on community organizing, and it showed. We had a 4-day training with them, all of our organizing team, our organizing director, myself, to explore organizing 101 to, applied organizing. And it was one of the most strategic, inviting, and applicable training spaces that I've been a part of. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I nerded out so much on so many of the concepts, even as someone who's organized in the past, pulling concepts together and kind of connecting the dots for me was something special, because I had not been in a space before where I was able to do that and understand why things unfold the way they unfold. It's just, from experience, sometimes these things, right? But our staff thoroughly enjoyed it, and we're ready to hit the ground running and apply some of these practices right after the training. It even caused our organization to rethink our approach to organizing, and it was not something I was expecting, but definitely something I welcome.
Hey everybody, we are part of Cordoba. I'm Brianna, this is Cam, and we're so glad to be performing virtually for y'all at the Midwest Academy fundraiser. We've both been organizers, activists, a big part of movement work throughout our years here. So it's really good to support an organization that's so important to the movement. Training and mentorship for organizers was so important to me as a young person starting out, not knowing anything about organizing pretty much, and learning so much from more experienced organizers who really like that one-to-one interaction and attention and support was so important for my journey of growth and just being able to be part of this movement and be effective in the movement. So I really appreciate the work the Midwest Academy is doing. So thank you so much for having us. Shout out to Midwest Academy. Shout out to all the incredible organizers and activists in this movement, and everybody out there in the audience who I know is doing such important work for this city and this state and all across this world right now.
Talk to me, then you can see, oh, what's going on. Big thanks to Midwest Academy for literally starting off my organizer career the right way. I started back in June 2021 of this year, and it already feels like ages ago, and I was able to get all of the fundamentals down. It was a week of extremely intense, continuous virtual meetings, but the people I was able to practice with, the coaches, and I'm so grateful to still have Jay to coach me in the today, in the Chicago, in the South Side realm of things.
The National Education Association has partnered with the Midwest Academy to bring education justice coalitions to cities all across the country. We're working in 45 cities right now to build from the ground up an education justice movement that has the power to create equity wherever it is. And we're just so happy to be partnering with the Midwest Academy and their deep expertise in grassroots organizing and supporting movements in general. I went to the Midwest Academy supervisor training 15 years ago, and I remember the impact that made on my life. And now at the National Education Association, be able to bring similar skill building to cities and leaders all across the country is just really special. So we're looking forward to partnering with the Midwest Academy this year and the many years to come.
All right, all right. So I hope everybody's doing well. The group Cordoba, we got to support them. I think they have a Bandcamp page. Please, let's, again, support our independent artists. Because just because somebody is not on BET or on Capitol Records or something like that does not mean they are not multi-talented. And, you know, one thing that we learned after dealing with the music industry is that it's better to own your art. So when you have an artist that's speaking, that's singing, or playing music that's food to our spirit, we should support it. So now my job is to introduce our next award recipient. We may remember that the fight for education justice is not a new fight in this country. You know, I remember watching the video of Thurgood Marshall asking a little girl in the South, baby, is your bathroom on the inside or is it on the outside? And just the deep inequities in public education were exposed in the historic Brown versus Board case. But then we also saw the reaction to Brown versus Board, which actually gave birth to the school choice movement. And that was massive resistance to Brown v. Board, where white families pulled their children out of public schools to avoid sending their children to school with us. But did not understand that our desire was not who we went to school with. We were fighting for resources and opportunity. Well, that same fight is just as important today. And the organization that we want to recognize is the Alliance for Quality Education. Because while we're still dealing with funding inequity, while we're still dealing with people not having access to resources and opportunity, in many cases because of their race, and then also because of their income, we're also dealing with the privatization of public education and how school choice has been used to help purge Black and brown people out of American urban spaces. I remember Alliance for Quality Education after Bloomberg had ended his tenure as mayor, and he had closed over 160 schools. And the Alliance for Quality Education organized to set the education agenda in the city of New York and was successful. And what I believe is the largest expansion of community schools at one time in American history, with over 100 community schools established at one time, or in New York. But recently won a historic battle where they had to go head to head with the governor of New York. And this was not an easy fight. This was a long fight, years and years and years of struggle, where they won $4 billion. And I hope I got the number right. Jasmine is here, but they won billions of dollars, I believe $4 billion, for New York's children that was owed to our children and families. So they are proof that organizing works. These sisters are, it's an amazing organization led by primarily women. And Jasmine Gripper is the first Black woman executive director of the Alliance for Quality Education. And Zakia Ansari is the advocacy director. And I've watched Zakia grow from a parent that was involved and engaged to now being the statewide advocacy director and one of Brooklyn's 25 most influential people, right? Zakia is a mover and a shaker, right? She's also a model. She's also a hooper. She does all types of stuff. And she's also one of the people that helped inspire the birth of the Journey for Justice Alliance. So I am honored to present our next award to the mighty, mighty Alliance for Quality Education. So please, sisters and brothers, if we could give them a round of applause, our next award goes to the Alliance for Quality Education.
Hello and congratulations to the Alliance for Quality Education for the Champions for Justice Award from Midwest Academy. No one deserves this honor more than you guys do. The fact that we've been able to wage a fight across New York State, New York City, and then influence nationally is all because of the hard work and dedication of the folks who are working for AQE and their dedication to make sure that public school children have everything that they need and deserve. The fact that we've been able to fight so long to bring home the victory for the campaign for fiscal equity and to bring home those billions of dollars has led to us being able to do amazing stuff, not just in New York City, but New York State. It's been an honor and my immense pleasure to serve on the board, to be a former employee, and to be a parent leader with AQE over this last decade. It's been an honor to fight side by side, to walk from New York City to Albany and get a hairline fracture in the process. And I would have not done it with anyone other than y'all. The fight to do what's right has been real. I love you all. Special shout out to Jasmine as the first Black woman to lead AQE. Shout out to the entire staff who are made up of mostly women of color, but it's all women led. And thank you for everything you've done, not just for me personally, but for the 1.1 million children across New York City and every child across New York State. I love you all, and I mean it.
AQE has made such an impact on BIPOC grassroots community organizations across the country by teaching us to strategize, organize, and follow the money. They have this dynamic understanding of how to engage with legislators and how to influence legislation. The ed justice community sits in awe at the determination that AQE brings to any table. The AQE team is so deserving of the Champions of Justice Award, and thank you for sharing the greatness of Zakia and Jasmine. They have this magical ability to make the hardest issues seem winnable. Having access to them as mentors and education justice allies is priceless. Take another victory lap, AQE. We celebrate you.
I'd like to thank the Midwest Academy for honoring the Alliance for Quality Education, an organization that when I think of them, I think strategy. I think of this all women, predominantly women of color organization who take strategy and who fought a campaign that was both a legal component and an organizing component, that together was the essence of what an inside and outside game really should look like, and built an organization with heart, with compassion, and use leadership development at every turn to uplift the voices of the most disenfranchised of parents across the state of New York and lead us to a victory of $4 billion in New York State. Congratulations, AQE. I love you, Zakia. I love you, Jasmine.
Hey, we are excited to be the recipients of the Midwest Academy Champions of Justice Award. In the midst of one of the most challenging organizing environments due to the COVID-19 pandemic and new circumstances for our schools, the Alliance for Quality Education won a significant victory for the public school students of New York State. After 20 plus years of advocacy and organizing, we won. The New York State Legislature finally committed to increase aid to our public schools by over $4 billion. This victory is thanks to the parents, community leaders, coalition partners, and staff at AQE. And of course, a special thanks to Midwest Academy for all of the trainings we received. We are honored to be recognized for this victory, and also congrats to our fellow honorees. Thank you, and we appreciate this recognition.
Thank you, Midwest Academy. We are so excited to be honored by you today. Jay and Eric, I love you both dearly. I really appreciate it. As Jasmine said, we could not have done this without the thousands of parents, community members, educators, young people from across New York State who stood by us, stood with us, threw down with us to get these $4 billion, specifically for Black, Brown, and poor children throughout New York State. And I also want to acknowledge really heartfelt thanks to then parent Robert Jackson, who was the lead plaintiff, to now Senator Robert Jackson, who came full circle and brought it home for us. Did you hear what I said? Parent to senator, started this lawsuit and brought it home. How powerful is that? So we honor and we share this award with Senator Robert Jackson and all the parents and all the folks in New York State who stood by us and stood with us and continue to stand with us. We are reminded over and over again, don't forget, deep organizing is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Thank you, Midwest, and congratulations to the other honorees out there.
When you're working with the Academy, you can expect a really high level of rigor and discipline, and also a structure that adapts to your needs as an organization. So like, for example, for us, we started out thinking that we needed 4 to 5 retreat sessions just to generally assess if we're moving in the right direction, all of this stuff. But we came out with a whole overhaul of our organization, including an updated mission, updated vision and values, about Feast, all this stuff that is authentic to us and really deeply aligned with what our members and what our base needs and is asking for. And so I think, it has helped us not only have a sharper analysis on the scope of our work, but also shift our practices so that we are truly organizing.
For the last 4 years, I have been a youth organizer and I've had the theory down pat. I've been in Midwest Academy trainings. I have read the Organizing for Social Change Midwest Academy manual, and yet we were really coming to a wall when it comes to executing our plans for organizing. And through the coaching that we received from Eric Zachary, we were able to really birth an organizing structure and strategy that is both exciting and rooted in radical joy.
Good evening. We are the Midwest Academy's team, and the Academy has a 49-year history of supporting organizers that have been on the front lines of struggles for racial, gender, economic, and social justice.
In this period of history, when justice, democracy, and the planet are all at stake, what do organizers most need to be effective and sustain themselves? We think there are at least 3 components. First, organizers need clarity on their essential roles, first and foremost that of base building, and they need the support and time to master the skills to effectively carry out those roles. Second, organizers need an analysis of the root causes of the racial, economic, and social injustices they are organizing to address, a vision of a more just world, and the ability to align their day-to-day work to reflect that vision. And third, because organizers are the instrument of their organizing, they need deep self-knowledge and the self-love and discipline to take care of themselves for the long haul. In our training, we refer to this combination of skills, vision, and self as the organizer triangle.
During the pandemic, the Academy has trained over 1,000 organizers. Interest in our trainings continues to grow, and we always have a wait list.
Though we have continued our focus on strategic campaign development, we also enhanced the training to include a root cause analysis, which examines the interlocking systems of oppression that our movements have and continue to struggle against. We have also had a substantial increase in the number of organizers that we've trained from Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities, including those fighting for environmental justice, trans liberation and gender justice, the labor movement, and the movements for immigrant and racial justice.
When I think of the people who have had some of the most impact in my life, it's honestly been organizers. People who are my mentors and trainers in the movement, someone to challenge me, support me, and guide me to bring my passion to the movement with intentionality, strategy, and love. I am so excited and honored to be in my new role as a trainer with Midwest Academy with a team I deeply respect. It's been humbling to train and build critical learning communities. Not only do I have the opportunity to share what I've learned over the last decade, but I also learned so much from organizers and stay grounded in current organizing and the pulse of the movement. Liberation is not guaranteed, and this is why we do this work.
Over the past 49 years, the Midwest Academy has trained over 50,000 organizers. We remain deeply committed to partnering with you to train, coach, and support a new generation of organizers. Thank you.
I really am coming back here as an alum of Midwest Academy to really share how much they have much to do with why I'm the organizer I am today and how I became the executive director I am today. I really learned a lot, even as a longtime organizer of 25 years, from Midwest Academy, and refined what I already know, but even expanding and growing as a transformative leader. With that, I've always taken away everything that they've taught me and brought it back to my community. It's really essential of the way they taught visioning and alignment. And I came back to Midwest Academy time and time again, and I really doubted myself as a leader when I took on a position as an executive director of my organization. And when I came back, they helped me to build the confidence I needed that I could lead, that I could be this transformative leader and become who I am today, to be able to lead a whole membership of my organization and build alongside with my community towards freedom and justice.
Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. And I know you might have a heavy load, but I can carry some too. I will lift you up when they push you down. I will raise my voice and stand my ground. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. Well, it looks like it might be a long night, but I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going, and I know it's gonna be a hard fight, but I will stay right here. I will stay, I will shine a light in the darkest hour. I will chase the man in the tallest tower. Well, it looks like it might be a long night. You know I ain't going nowhere. I will
evening, and congratulations to this year's Midwest Academy awardees. Looking back over the years, our interns, alums, and our growth student trainers, and see them rise through the ranks to lead today's progressive organizations and unions gives me such great joy. When Heather started the Academy in 1973, it was her vision, creativity, and emphasis on strategy over tactics that led to the Midwest Academy becoming one of the leading progressive training centers in the country. I had the good fortune to attend the second Midwest Academy training session in 1974, and the honor of being the executive director for 30 years. I am so thrilled to have played such a role. In 2 years, the Academy will celebrate its 50th anniversary because of people like you. Thank you so much for your generosity. And to paraphrase Saikon's song, it's people like us, all of us, who help people like us go on and on and on. Thank you.
All right, all right. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's online right now that's watching the awards. I want to say, please donate to the Midwest Academy. What could be a better investment than investing in folks that are prepared to transform this world? It's very important. So my charge is to introduce the third recipient, but I want to walk us back a little bit. You know, we gave an award to our brother Maurice Mitchell from Working People's Party, around Working Families Party, around the power of political organizing. We gave an award, the Champions for Justice Award, to our sisters Jasmine and Zakia from the Alliance for Quality Education, community organizing. And right now, we want to recognize somebody who has been a champion in the giving to organizers, the giving to change makers. Our brother Gara LaMarche, who's the former executive director of Democracy Alliance and also of Atlantic Philanthropies, who has made a career out of making sure that resources get to the right people who are prepared to make change. As we know, the Democracy Alliance looks to resource power building, often in rural communities, but in other parts of the United States. Again, making sure that regular people have access to seats of influence and seats of power where they can represent the interests of those people on the ground. And then with his work with Atlantic Philanthropies, doing incredible work around funding support for Black men and boys and for power building in the South and other parts of the country. So we want to please give the Progressive Leadership Award or the Progressive Legacy Award to someone who is very deserving, our man, Gara LaMarche.
I've known Gara LaMarche since the early 1980s, having met him during my first days as an attorney with the ACLU Washington National Office, when he was with the ACLU in New York. Suffice it to say, as fellow travelers, we often found ourselves aligned on issues involving civil and human rights. We stayed in touch when Gara became the executive director of the Texas Civil Liberties Union. And while he didn't wear a 10-gallon hat, he was such a forceful presence there that we affectionately referred to him as Tex LaMarche. But in all seriousness, Gara's work in Texas advocating for the abolition of the death penalty deserves special recognition. Only now are the US and other parts of the world beginning to catch up. However, Gara's greatest impact on me personally was in his role as a philanthropist. Through the Open Society Foundations and the Atlantic Philanthropies, Gara funded 3 strategic planning initiatives that brought the Leadership Conference from an organization of 7 to an institution of well over 100 people. Each planning initiative made us more of who we are today. Our reach is more substantial now than one might have ever imagined. Gara continues to serve as a board member of the Leadership Conference Education Fund and as a member of our Presidential Search Committee. We owe him a great deal. Now, on a personal level, I consider Gara a true friend. For those who know him, it's easy to understand why. He is extremely generous, a supportive counselor, always insightful, and contributes in many ways beyond the obvious. So thank you, my friend, for decades of support and solidarity in the trenches. And congratulations on this special and well-deserved award.
Like a lot of people, I met Gara LaMarche as a grant seeker. I had come with a young man named Brian Colon, who had spent time in prison as a young man and was helping us organize a project to help folks who are coming back from prison or jail to succeed and to fight for justice. Gara not only took the time to listen when he could have assigned it to a program officer, he became an ally to that program. On sabbatical, he came in and wrote a report about it that had compassion for its staff and the folks that were benefiting from the program, but also said, here's some thoughts on how you could do this better. Not a lot of people would have taken it seriously. It's that combination of seeing the human beings in their fight for justice and helping them think about and find ways to do it better and grow themselves that I have benefited from personally at so many points in my career, and that has truly helped grow our movements. And I believe that is Gara's legacy.
Gara was one of the first people who believed in the powerful idea contained in the name of an organization called Make the Road by Walking. Back in the mid-90s, he showed up to the basement of a church, St. Barbara's Church in Bushwick, to meet with two young lawyers and a group of residents of Bushwick who were gathering their strength to fight for one another and to demand what we deserve to live with dignity. And he made Make the Road into a reality by lending us his support. And ever since then, he has walked by our side and by the side of thousands and thousands of people who are fighting to make this country a more just place, to make this country one where all of us can enjoy the promise of freedom and democracy. Gara, we are so grateful for all you have done over the years and for the legacy you have built by partnering with so many progressive activists and organizers and people all over the country. Congratulations for this award.
I'm really honored to be chosen as this year's recipient of the Progressive Legacy Award. Legacy, I understand, means recognition of a body of work. In other words, that you're getting kind of old. I'm fine with that. I had my time starting in the ACLU in my late teens to be a wunderkind, or as Nate and Ted Lasso would have it, a wonder kid. And the older I get, the more I appreciate that I have a different role to play in the next decade or two on the downward slope of the arc that has been my career in human rights, social justice, and philanthropy. It's been a great run, and I'm far from done. All throughout these years, whatever else I've been privileged to do or contribute to, the consistently greatest satisfaction I've had has been to work with younger leaders, mostly women and people of color, largely shut out of leadership in most movement organizations in the world I was born into. I've learned far more from them than they've learned from me. And that's why now that I'm done leading organizations, I've chosen to spend almost all of my time in support of younger leaders, teaching at the City University of New York and at NYU, partnering with my long-term friend and colleague Deepak Bhargava and others to build a leadership institute, supporting the terrific diverse team at the Rabin Group, and helping to find the next brilliant head of the leadership conference, and fostering intergenerational connections in the social justice world through my role at encore.org. And that's why the award you honor me with is particularly meaningful, because the Midwest Academy has been in the vanguard of training organizers and movement leaders for the challenges of our time. Its mission has been a roadmap for the progressive movement, From building statewide power to forging multi-issue alliances to connecting movement work to electoral politics, and his legacy, though I hasten to say it is hardly in the middle age, with the best yet to come, is written in the victories we've won and those we are on the verge of. I am proud to support it. I thank you all for doing so by your presence here tonight, and I will always work to make sure it has the support it needs to maintain and build on its vital mission. With pride in what we've built and hope for a vibrant future, thank you very much.
If we organize, we can change this world. That's the prime lesson of Midwest Academy, as it's been teaching generations of people who care about building a more just and democratic and sustainable world for over 48 years. And because all of you and others have organized, there's now overwhelming public support for the largest investment in our communities, for a more caring economy, for more union jobs, for addressing our climate crisis and immigration with a pathway to citizenship, and the extraordinary fight to secure greater democracy and more. This is at a time when we are confronted by the forces of a corporate right wing, a Jim Crow resurgent power fighting for their personal gain against the will of the people. We have so much further to go till we have true justice and democracy and an economy that works for all of us. But we make progress when we organize. This is the work of the Academy, and your involvement and support makes it all possible. Just this last year, we've trained over 1,000 people, expanded accessibility, including language justice, a benefit of being virtual, and a greater sliding fee scale. We're revising our manual that's being used across the world, and our curriculum is evolving to reflect this changing landscape. I'm so moved by our honorees this year, the inspiring Maurice Mitchell, movement builder, lifelong progressive hero, Gara LaMarche, and the champions for justice with the Alliance for Quality Education, Jasmine Gripper and Zakaya Shakir Ansari. Congratulations and thank you for all the organizing and world changing that you do and that we'll do together. We're also so grateful for our remarkable staff, co-directors, Jay Travis and Eric Zachary, Administrative Director Kaylee Tock, and our trainers, Judy Hertz, Christina Tendia, M.A. Josian, Chua Jironkiza, and the adjunct Samuel Chu, Beth Wang, David Hunt, Steve Max, Jackie Kendall, and our videographer extraordinaire, David Grossman. Our wonderful board, Saqib Bhatti, G2 Brown, Bob Creamer, Jackie Grimshaw, Judy Hertz, Jackie Kendall, David Medina, Eddie Morales, Marvin Randolph, and all the wonderful organizers everywhere. This is also our annual fundraiser. We hope you've been inspired by the songs and stories from this evening. Supporting us tonight supports us all year round. We hope you keep the spirit we have tonight going, building community with love at the center and organizing for the struggles ahead. And now, I turn this back to our wonderful organizer MC, G2 Brown.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate you. And I dig that, organizing MC. I'm gonna work with that a little bit. Let's please, everybody, just give a shout out in the chat or just however you want to do it to our recipients tonight, our award recipients. Again, it's important for us. We don't do this to get awards. None of us do. But it is important for us to let people know we see you, you know, in a good way. We see you. We respect you, we love you, and the work that you do is valued. And as Heather said, the times that we are living in are so critical. We know what this pandemic exposed in regards to the racial disparities, the inequities that are deep-seated, that are rooted in our system today. We saw what happened on January the 6th. And the fact that to this day, the accountability is nowhere near where it needs to be done. And that domestic terrorism, not threats from abroad, but threats right here at home, are some of the biggest threats to our security today, to us being able to say that our children can grow up and stand on our shoulders. We got a lot of work to do. And that work will not come based on the fact that we're eloquent. It will not come because we can wear nice hats. That work will come because we can actually learn to speak power to power. We can learn the artistic science of community organizing, to make sure that people directly impacted are able to build strategy and power to transform their conditions. That's who we honor tonight. Folks who are working to master that artistic science. So please, sisters and brothers, if there's anything you can give to, right? If there's anything you can give to, it is the Midwest Academy. It is this mission. So right now, you normally say pull out your wallet, but break out your phones, right? Get to that Act Blue and give a little bit more, because the Midwest Academy deserves it. It is very important that in a society where the oppressor masters the art of snatching hope from us, that we begin to build the infrastructure to build hope, to build capacity, to build inspiration, right? That's what's so important. That's what is at stake right now in our lifetime. Maurice talked about the historic investment that's coming in our country right now. Shame on us if we don't organize to make sure that those resources are distributed equitably into our communities. Shame on us. Once in a lifetime investment, and we have an opportunity. So the Midwest Academy is as important as it has ever been. I want to just take a minute to say thank you to the Midwest Academy for allowing me to serve on this diverse and dynamic board of directors. I want to say a special debt of gratitude to the co-directors of the Midwest Academy. Two people that have been important in my journey. The person who taught me a lot about strategy is Jay Travis, who was my executive director when I was the education organizer at the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization. And Eric Zachary, who I stood side by side as we built the Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools, and helped me really begin to think bigger, to be bold in regards to what we can accomplish. I also want to send a shout out to my man, I saw him in the chat, Billy Easton, all right? Former director of the Alliance for Quality Education, and now the director of Reclaim Our Schools, Los Angeles. What's happening, Billy? So once again, please support this organization. Please show some love to our award recipients. And I want all of you to keep the fight going, to remember that the impossible or the difficult we do right away, the impossible takes a little longer. And we, as change agents, there's nothing we can do. Our only limitations are the ones that we accept. Our only limitations are the ones that we accept. So believe it or not, we have reached the end of our program. I've got to sing a solo for y'all. So, psych, y'all thought I was gonna do that. If I sing a solo, everybody's gonna pull their money out of Act Blue and like, we're never coming back to the Midwest Academy. So thank y'all very much, man. That's the end of our program. Everybody be safe, be strong, nothing but love, peace.
What's up, guys? Black and powerful, yes I am. Black and powerful, yes I am. Black and white world, yes I am. The black and powerful, yes I am. Black and powerful. Hello world, I know I love me. I hope you see me before you judge me. Hope you know me before you trust me. And see my beauties before my uglies. I'm black and proud, just like Penny. Love is plenty and doubt is empty. Alexander, who never played me. Always late, but always ready. I survived the hate, like Vince McMahon. What they said and stuck the plan. But my story from my own hand. Dr. Seuss said I am. Father Abraham had many sons. Too many of them killed where I'm from. Why the whole world think we dumb? You gotta be an Einstein to see 21. So never ever worry about what you can do. Don't you ever worry about what you can do. Don't you ever worry about what you can do. Don't you ever worry about what you can. And just let your soul bounce. Just let your soul bounce. Just let it bounce. Your soul bounce. Just let your soul bounce. Let it bounce. Your soul bounce. Just let your soul bounce. Let it bounce. Your soul bounce. Just let your soul, let your soul bounce. Come on, come on. What's up? What's up? What's up? Boom, bounce. Come on. What's up? What's up? What's up? Bounce. Do some dance, bounce. Watch out. Just move with it, bounce with it. Move with it, bounce with it. Come on. So bounce. So bounce. Volume on opinion, make my own decisions. Everybody's opinion, something we never mentioned. Everybody's busy creating their own plan, minding their own business, focusing on their living. Focus on pushing limits, so couple trouble with Kiki. World will not defeat me, pettiness beneath me. Teachers to rub me up when I see me on the TV. I'm black and carefree, smiling while I'm singing. Ow! Guitar. Everybody say so. Say so. Say so. Say so. Bounce. 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 Yeah. Never ever worry about what you can do. Don't you ever worry about what you can be. Don't you ever worry about what you can do. Just let your soul bounce. That song's called Soul Bounce. I love this, it's so fun.
As we come marching